What's good, everybody? I'm back. Today I am in a rut. I'm just not feeling like myself today. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's how I slept or what, but I am feeling completely out of it right now. I'm a little down. I know part of it has a lot to do with, this photography and videography stuff is still all new to me. Even though I've had a few clients or whatever, I'm still learning a lot as I go along, and I'm very tough on myself. And one thing that's been a recurring theme in my life is I'm very much, I think worst case scenario all the time. So like when I was doing just pudding, I got to a place where, like there was a week I made like $1,000, right, doing pudding. And then the next week I made like 5 something, right? So then I was like, man, what if next week I don't make nothing? That's how my mind thinks. Even though one week I made 1,000, and then one week I made 500, the next week I was like, oh, it's going down. What if I make less the next week? And so then I decided to get a part-time job. Like it was just like that. My mind works. Part-time job opportunity came up. I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna take that. And I kind of put the pudding on the back burner a little bit. I was still doing it, but not as much as I was before I went and got the job. And it's because my mind always works on this what if it doesn't work type of mindset, and I don't know why, but I've never been a really big risk taker. It's like one of those things, I've always kind of played it safe. I mean, growing up, and when you grow up poor, or would you say low income poverty or whatever, you tend to kind of be a little bit more mindful of how you spend your money and the risk that you take, because it may not always bounce back like you think. So for me, I've always been kind of one of those people where money is very important to me, and not only the sense of money is everything, but a sense of like I gotta pay bills, I gotta take care of things, I gotta provide, I gotta eat, type of situation. So now I'm just like today, I woke up. I haven't been working since the end of May, but I've been doing some photography jobs here and there, and some other things. I did pudding a couple of times. Since May, but I'm really now at a place where I got to figure out how exactly I'm approaching everything. I know a lot of people are going to jump in my comments and be like, man, why don't you just do the pudding and this and that? I stay in Fulshire. Let me give you an idea of how far Fulshire is from Houston. If you're familiar with where the Galleria is, imagine going from the Galleria to Willowbrook Mall. So they're about that distance. And what I mean by Houston is Houston to where most of my customers are. So like I would be going from Fulshire to the southwest side. That's about a 35-minute to 40-minute drive, but then that's just to get out there. That's not including me driving around and delivering to different customers and trying to get to customers by a certain time and do things like that. I can't do pop-ups during the week because everybody at work. The only time I can do pop-ups is on the weekend, but I can't, I gotta find a location for a pop-up. I gotta find somebody that's gonna be able to let me do a pop-up outside of their spot without charging me, or not charging me an arm and a leg to do a pop-up at their shop or whatever, unless they wanna work in collaboration and be like, oh, my customers come over there. But I've done pop-ups, and a lot of times people just come and get put and they leave. They're not really coming on the inside and buying nothing from that person. So now I feel bad because I'm like, well, I'm getting business, but they're not really getting any business off what I'm doing. So my focus right now is really just trying to figure out, and my thing is I like doing the pudding, but the pudding isn't what I want to do full-time. What I want to do full-time is photography and videography. Now I could market myself more into photography and videography. The videography for me, I have pretty much everything I need for videography. I could use a couple of more, well, not a couple more, but I need like a 20-40-70 lens. I know some of y'all probably won't know what that is. And I need like a better mic setup for like people that want to do like interviews and stuff, like a 2-mic setup, and I'll be pretty much good to go. But what I have right now, I can do pretty much photography, videography flawless. For my photography side, there's one more lens that I need. Like if I want to start marketing for like, if people want to do family portraits, I don't feel comfortable with the equipment that I have, because the equipment that I have is more so based for videography. Now I have a portrait lens, but that portrait lens isn't going to do well for me trying to photograph families. When you get like families 3 and 4 or 5 people, and you got to get to that wide look so you can get everybody in frame, it's going to look a little weird. So I'm kind of at a place right now where I'm trying to figure out how I'm approaching everything with this photography and videography. And I mean, I'll be okay. I always bounce back. I just get in my own head sometimes. I get in my feelings about certain stuff, Kiki, do you love me type shit. And I just get a little frustrated, and I tend to be like, I'm just gonna give up. And I got to kind of get out of that mindset. I got to understand that I can make it with what I'm doing. I got to understand that I do have a talent at what I'm doing. I got to nurture it, and I got to, perfect it and keep at it. And, I might have to pick up a part-time job so I can get the other equipment that I need to get. And I might have to do pudding here and there, just the pudding. I'm going to have to do it on the weekends and then figure out what exactly how I'm going to approach it. But it's just one of those things where it's like the uncertainty is something that really bothers me, because it's just one of those things from day to day. You don't know how things are going to go until you really get into this consistent basis with your business. And when you starting it out, a lot of people don't tell you about that. Man, I have friends that have businesses that have been in businesses for a while, and they struggle with that same thing. They look at stuff and, they have their days where it's up, it's going, it's booming. People buying stuff, they purchasing stuff, they sending deposits. And then they have those days and those months where it's like, man, customers are non-existent. They just not there. So for me, I'm just, I'm kind of, trying to figure out how I'm approaching everything right now, and what's my next move, and how I'm gonna go about doing it without getting into this mode of, all right, just quit, just do photography and videography when you have spare time. No, photography and videography needs to be my job, and my part-time is my spare time job, So, I'll figure it out. Look, I looked at a few things this morning, and I'm very big on not opening a credit line for anything, but I feel like at this point, I might have to open up a credit line in order to go ahead and get the rest of the equipment that I need to get, and that'll be my investment, and then I'll just pay it off with the work. But I dropped out of college. I dropped out of college because of student loans. Like, I was like, all right, I'm not taking no more student loans. If they don't want to give me any, federal grants and and I can't pay for it out of pocket, I'm not going back, because I just did not want to be in debt. Like, debt freaks me out. Like, I have a car note, and I cannot wait till I'm done paying this car off. But I'm so tired of debt, and I'm just like, at this point, I gotta kind of probably move away from that mindset too. I might have to just go ahead and open up this line of credit and buy this lens and this second camera body, so I can go ahead and start taking on more clients and taking on more work that I'll feel more comfortable with, because I'll have the equipment to do what I need to do. But at this time, I don't. So it's like all my battles are not with the people, it's always with myself. I'm my worst enemy when it comes to optimism, because part of me is very optimistic and very like, oh, we can do it. Another part of me that's a little bit more stronger side of me is like, don't take the risk, don't do it, it could be dangerous. It's caution, danger, Will Robinson. So I'm just trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to go about doing everything right now, and then once I figure that out, I'll feel more comfortable with how I approach everything, because I don't want to take on people but hey, I can do family photography, and then I start taking pictures and because I don't have the right type of lenses, people feet cut off in the pictures or hands cut off of heads, right at the top of the thing. There's this, I'm a perfectionist, and I know how the pictures are supposed to look, and so I want them to look that way when I take them. I don't want to be trying to take pictures and realize, damn, I can't get the angle I need to get because my lens isn't the lens that I need to be taking these kind of pictures with, or the camera that I have is a crop frame, so I got to try to get way further back than I would have to if I had a full frame camera. It's just, it's technical stuff, and a lot of the things that for most people they'll be pushing through, but for me, I'm just like, I got to figure it out. I got to figure out how I'm going to approach these things and how I'm going to handle them, because that's going to benefit me in the long run if I figure it out. Well, not if I figure out, when I figure it out, because I don't have a choice but to figure it out, because there's no guarantee that somebody gonna call me and say, hey, we're gonna give you a job, and there's no guarantee that if I do get a part-time job, it's gonna be some great paying part-time job. It could be some bullshit that really ain't even worth my time anyways. So we'll see. I'll have to figure it out, but that's where I'm at with it right now. That's what's going on in my head. That's how I'm feeling. I figured out a vlog about it because, I know a lot of people who are going into business for themselves or in business for themselves, and they probably deal with the same type of struggles and the same things that I'm dealing with. And, sometimes it's good to know you're not alone with that mindset, and some people who've kind of gone through that and gotten through it could help me out, give me some pointers and some tips about how to deal with this doom and gloom type mindset, because it's bothersome. It annoys me sometimes. Like this morning, like I'm actually, now that I'm talking about it, I feel much better. But before, I cut this camera on and I started recording. You want to talk about, man, I was literally like, man, let me go holler at my old boss at Ross and find out, man, y'all still got that assistant manager position open, which they do, because for some reason it takes forever for them to hire assistant managers. I don't know why. But and then I was like, bro, but I'd be getting off at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. That's why I left there. And I'm just like, my whole day consisted of that type of work. And I'm just like, I didn't have time to grow anything else. And I'm like, at the end of the day, if I spend 4 or 5 years there and then realize that's not really what I want to do, 4 or 5 years of my life is pretty much gone and I didn't grow anything. Like, I can't give my child my job at Ross. I can get a retirement there, but I have to wait till I get to 65, which with the state I'm learning, when you have a job that does mandatory retirement, they're banking on the fact that you're going to work there forever. And a lot of people stay because they had their mandatory retirement, but they don't. Like at the state, we didn't get paid nothing. Like, the pay there is terrible, but you got free health insurance and you got this retirement or whatever, but it's terrible, man. It's like the money is like absolute trash, and you're just trying to figure out how you gonna navigate through all that and make money, and then a lot of people that work there work part-time jobs. But what's weird about the state is that you have to get permission to basically moonlighting, meaning that you're gonna work another job on top of the job that you have. I'm like, bro, y'all don't even pay enough for me to care about if y'all gonna approve me having a second job or not. Like, literally, I would never. I did not. No, I'm not gonna tell y'all nothing. I'm gonna work this second job unless y'all gonna give me some second job money. But that's enough of that. Let me know how y'all feel, what y'all deal with, and y'all, if you have a small business, or if you're trying to go into, business for yourself, and are these some of the thoughts that y'all have, or are these some of the things that y'all deal with? Because I'm definitely struggling today. I've been good the past couple weeks, but today and last night was a little rough on the mental. So, but I'll get through it. I always do. We all persevere. We're stronger than we think. Holla at your boy. Toodles.